All right, so as I mentioned before, we are going to be starting off the stream with quite a bang. As once again, it's going to be 808 versus Zane, and these are among the best players of their respective characters. So Zane, obviously, they're there for Duck Hunt. New York native over there, and they have been doing really, really good in the region. They've been able to beat a bunch of the top players over there. I can't exactly give out a list, but from what I remember, I think he was able to beat Venia, he was able to beat John Numbers, and then I think they were able to beat some other people as well. Unfortunately, I can't remember them off the top of my head. Maybe Utopian Race there as well, but I'd have to go back and double check what the record is. And then, of course, 808, one of the best King K. Rool players there in the States, and honestly, I think he's pulled off some big upsets. Unfortunately, I can't tell them off the top of my head. And I think he was like just a hair off of beating. I want to say it was MK Leo at Genesis 7, I think is what it was. Or Genesis 8. I think we're on Genesis 7 now. But fortunately, I remember he just didn't clutch it out. And I believe they were the highest placing King K Rool at Genesis as well. So definitely no slouch of a player at all. And, you know, a lot of positive qualities. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about the actual matchup itself. King K. Rool versus Duck Hunt. So Duck Hunt, as most of you guys know, is generally going to be considered like one of the biggest heavy slayers out there. But obviously, of course, you just can't be brain dead with the way that you do it. While the game plan is relatively brain dead, if you're too brain dead with the way that you play it, then you're just going to kind of getting slapped like really, really hard, and you're not going to be able to recover from it, and they'll just kind of send you off stage. And with the Dr. Robotnik set, you'll kind of see that come up into play later on. But there is one exception, and that's King K. Rool. The other heavy that does relatively well against Duck Hunt, I would definitely say, is King DD, but it's for very, very different reasons. King K. Rool has some of the best anti-Duck Hunt technology out there, and if you don't know how to play the matchup, this either becomes an even matchup or even like slightly in King K. Rool's favor, just because the risk-reward factor is definitely skewed in King K. Rool's favor. And the other thing, too, is that he doesn't necessarily need to change up the way that he's normally going to play against this style of zoner compared to a lot of the other characters. So there's not as many adjustments for the King K. Rool that they have to make versus the adjustments that the Duck Hunt player has to make. Obviously, it goes without saying, King K. Rool has an absolutely insane punish game, and it's also complemented heavily by, decent projectiles. I would say decent, not the best, but definitely decent. Crown that has very, very high priority when it's mashed up against like a lot of different projectiles. Then also crap ton of armor. The armor basically allows him to play like a Juggernaut character, and he's just able to tank a lot of different moves. And then he's also able to just come out of situations that a lot of characters just normally can't find themselves coming out of. For example, the belly armor with Nair basically prevents juggles from happening, just because as Duck Hunt, you can't contest it with any of your up air hitboxes. The most that you can do is you can do shield cannon and he's landing with Nair, and then that'll go through just fine. But you can't actively go up and juggle King K. Rool after the string isn't true anymore. So like at like low to mid percents, you can do up air juggles as long as you can reach him in time before the Nair comes out. But like once you can no longer stuff out the Nair, then you just can't do it at all. What you need to focus on doing is you need to focus on calling out his landings, especially if he's landing with a lot of attacks, just because all of our projectiles will beat out his attacks, and that's kind of where you're going to get a lot of your damage from. And the other thing too is if you can bait out Crown, that's a very good thing. However, the way that Crown needs to be used in this matchup is very reactionary. So if you see Duck Hunt going for Can, you see Duck Hunt going for like Clay Pigeon, that's when you want to like throw out Crown. You don't want to be the first one tossing it. You always want to be the second one tossing that, because otherwise Duck Hunt can get like massive punishes on K. Rool. But as long as K. Rool's good with their Crown, they can prevent a lot of the neutral setups that Duck Hunt wants to go for. And it doesn't have to be as ambiguous for the K. Rool player, but obviously since Duck Hunt setups are relatively short per se to get out, you'll still be able to get out Can just fine. It's just more of like Clay Pigeon. You need to use that as a response to punish him. And it also does kind of limit how you can use Gunman as well. But obviously, if you're able to get out Gunman really, really early, then you don't really need to worry about Crown. So it's all about the timing about what is the availability of King K. Rool compared to Duck Hunt, what determines whether you should be summoning your projectiles or not at all. I'm going to be covering it on both sides, but it's going to be more for Zane, if anything. It's just because I main both of these characters, I understand what both characters need to do. And by giving you the dynamic of both sides of the matchup, I can definitely give you a better understanding of how to play it from both ends. So as a Duck Hunt player, you'll kind of know what to bait out from the K. Rool player, and the K. Rool player will kind of know what they need to look out for. But at the end of the day, as you did see in my matchup chart, overall, Duck Hunt has just like more tools available to him to help trap King K. Rool. And as long as you know how to edge guard and you know how to use your Clay Pigeon combos against King K. Rool, killing isn't as big of a factor in this matchup. And that's kind of like one of the biggest troubles that Heavy struggle with against Duck Hunt is, while they can technically live for a very long time if you're really bad with scaling and you don't know the right moves to use off your Clay Pigeon combos. Generally speaking, you'll find it very easy and consistent to kill them, even though you might be killing them at like 150, 160. You know, you might be landing that Clay Pigeon at like 100 and they just end up dying. So you're not necessarily killing, like, while they die late, you're not necessarily killing them late, if that makes any sense. Just because the confirm goes off so early. Yeah, no, definitely do that as well. I mean, I know you're a Duck Hunt player, so all you have to do is say that. But if there's something from the K. Rool end that you don't understand, just let me know. We'll definitely go over it. Yeah, because so far we only got 3 viewers in here, so you're definitely, feel free to ask all the questions that you want, no matter how dumb you might think they are. It's better for you to know the answer than to be confused about it going forward. So with that said, let's jump right in. Also, I do have all the hitbox data just on the side too. So overall, I want to say this. It's kind of hard to tell you what's going to be the best stage for you to go for. Because, like, both characters are going to benefit from having a long stage. However, I will say this. With a long stage, Duck Hunt's going to have more room to extend the Clay Pigeon combos. And most of the long stages have really, really short side blast zones, which will allow Duck Hunt to kill K. Rool that much easier. So as a Duck Hunt player, you're probably going to want to go to Pokemon Stadium and Town and City. I think those are going to be your most ideal ones. And then, like, to a degree, Smashville is kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes that'll help K. Rool, sometimes it'll help you out. Kind of depends who gets the ball rolling on that one. Battlefield, I can see being relatively even, but it might be slightly better for K. Rool just because of the way that he can control the lanes on here. Because, like, one of the big things I do need to mention is just because Crown can just kind of blast through everything, he's going to be the one to control that lane. It's kind of like Belmont with their cross. And then, obviously, Cannonball is going to break things, but it does, your projectiles at least will stop Cannonball. But something you need to keep in mind is when Cannonball hits something and it drops, that's an active hitbox, so you can't run under the Cannonball. So, gotta be a little bit careful with that. And, so it's like, on this stage, I think it's good for both. But it might be a little bit better for K. Rool to come here. I'm not entirely sure on that one just yet. Just kind of thinking out my head. But as we go through this, we'll kind of figure it out. That was a really weird call. So something I need to mention about King K. Rool is I believe he's tall enough that you can actually ping the can and I'll clip him. Let me check that real quick. So it's like, as a K. Rool player, that's something you need to be aware of, and then as a Duck Hunt player, it's something you should definitely be aware of. I know against Clay Pigeon for sure, K. Rool can't actually run under it. So I think that really sucks for him. This. Yeah. So you can technically ping King K. Rool when he's underneath it. But obviously, I think, let me see. I think if I put him at like 50, he might pop into the can. Nah, he doesn't do that exactly. Gonna try one more thing. Yeah, okay. So when the gravity's heavier on the can, you can pop them into it. But when the gravity's low, like the first initial shots, then it's not gonna work. Okay. So yeah, let me just go back real quick because I want to show that. It won't come up too often in a matchup, but I do think this is a good thing for you and K. Rool players to know, is that when as the cannonball is falling right here, so this falling animation, this is an active hitbox. So as a K. Rool player, if you think the duck hunt's going to approach you, you can actually like full hop cannonball the can or whatever projectile's coming at you. Because like against Banjo, it's actually a really useful thing because you can cannonball the grenade and the eggs, and as Banjo's trying to approach you, the cannonball will fall down and actually hit him. So as duck hunt, you somewhat need to be aware of that. But generally speaking, I don't think it's going to come up too often in this matchup, but good thing to know at the very least. That was really bad on Zane's part. You wanna make sure you're controlling this area. And that's kind of what you do. When if K. Rool's going to be spamming Nair, you want to punish the landing of that by just outspacing it. K. Rool's Nair, really, really good move. Really, really good for stuffing out. It's really good at stuffing out juggles. However, because of like the way that like the hurt box kind of is, you can definitely position yourself around where it is. Obviously, it does extend out compared to where his belly is. So this part will still hit you, but like you can always outspace it with a couple of things. So the easiest thing to point to is pivot grab. Really good way to deal with that move, just because you got that much space to get it. Like there. But yeah, that's kind of what you want to do against Nair. If you know it's coming, just plan for it, and then as he's landing, you go in and you get your punish against it. What's up, Donuts? We're going over Zane versus 808, a high-level Duck Hunt versus King K. Rool match. Oh, that was a really good slip right there. Yeah, so this is something to note. You want to detonate your clay pigeon as early as possible against Crown. So, like, ideally right here. Because what he did was he waited... Oh, wait. Oh, he actually did it on time. Yeah, okay, so he did it at the right time. It's just he was actually able to get that out before the particle hit boxes came out. So this is why you want to do it early. Because if you do it early, then the multi-hits will actually break him before the shield can come up. Yeah, you can't approach King K. Rool. Don't do that. No, yeah. So whenever you see K. Rool go for Crown, just like instinctually like go for a grab for the most part. Because they're probably going to be looking to shield. That was a really smart setup from him. Because his duck hunt there wasn't too much you could do. You're dead. So that's another thing to mention. King K. Rool's edgeguard game against Duck Hunt is absolutely amazing. You fall down with Nair and then go with the fair, and you should be able to take it from there. That was pretty ballsy. So that's something I should mention, is if you ever do see the vacuum come out from King K. Rool, just instinctively hit side B, and it's going to get you it out of every single time, because it's just a regular grab. So I can show that off real quick. So that one, I couldn't do it there. Oops. Wrong projectile. Actually, let's do it here. This is going to be the best way to show it off. Yeah. So you do have to make sure that you're not going like directly into it. So that's all you really need to do if you see it. So kind of look where the situations are. Like one of the main ones that you're going to see King K. Rool's use is this one, where they do that and then they do the drop down. So if they're doing that, as Duck Hunt, what you want to do is you want to do drop down and then jump like this. Not like that though. So you do like that. And that's how you get around that setup as Duck Hunt. And if you see King K. Rool's going for that, you should think like, okay, that's going to be like a free 50% for me, or that's going to be their death. So definitely learn how to do the proper jump from there. So let me see if I can get that off right now. Oops. There we go. Okay, so it looks like, unfortunately, it's like the grab from it does knock you off a little bit. But overall, you should be able to get back to stage perfectly fine without really having to worry about him. The main thing you'd have to worry about afterwards is that he might come up with like a dash attack if he's close enough and stuff you out. Okay. Yeah, see, there you go. So the other time that he did the clay pigeon, unfortunately, he did it a little bit too late, so he didn't get the multi-hits there guaranteed to knock him out of the crowd itself. So that's why you need to make sure you detonate your clay pigeon as early as possible, because you have like 3 things afterwards. Kind of explaining that you can use clay pigeon to get through the blunderbuss vacuum, because it's just a grab. And that's a down air. Yeah. So unfortunately, while you can technically down air through it, that's not really a reliable thing. What you need to do is you need to hit King K. Rool from the side. So like over here, let's go back 5 seconds. This should be perfect. So here we go. You get the down air. No, that was, see, what you want to do is, that might have been back a little bit too far. So here, you just go to the side. See, like, he jumped way too early. Because at this point, it's like he already committed to the up B, so you didn't have to worry about doing that. And then what you're going to do is you'll get below, and then in this case, because he's facing forward, he doesn't really have a choice, but he would jump nair, and that nair would, the strong nair should kill him at that point. Also, keep in mind that King K. Rool's out of shield options behind him are absolutely terrible, so if you have a choice, always land behind him, because his grab is really good. Yeah, and see, like, there we go. That's the crown just going through everything. So, in this position, what he can do is clay pigeon right now and then, like, up smash him. Ah, man. Let me see. Did he do it right? Yeah, so I think he did it right there. It's just that the way that the hurt box shifted after he stopped the clay pigeon. I think that's the reason why he got out of it. That was a good cannonball. Otherwise, that gunman probably would have killed him. Yeah, you can't exactly be scared of going off stage and edge guarding King K. Rool. Like, giving him this much respect, it's just gonna allow him to just get back for free. Because the biggest thing about K. Rool is if you let him live forever, that's probably his biggest strength. But the second you could take that away from him, then he becomes a much worse character. Oh, yeah, that was a good block right there. That's the other thing I should talk about really quickly is in terms of armor, I don't think Dawangthang has anything. Like, I think only strong back air from a full hop is the only thing that can break crown armor. It's not good for us. Oh, oops, armor. I don't think they ever did. Yeah, so the way that King K. Rool's recovery works is that only the propeller has a hurt box. Only one propeller has a hitbox on it. So you can technically time your down air to go through it. But the thing is, it's kind of random on what part of the hitbox that you're going to get. But I'm sure like there's a way that you could understand the timing of the hitbox itself to know when exactly and where you can down air. But that's a huge commitment. Yeah, so you need to do Sweet Spot Bear full hop, and that is the only way that you're breaking King K. Rool's armor. The other way is if you hit him with all 3 hits of like F Smash, but otherwise, yeah, it's not going to do it. So, you know, in this case, you know, that will do the 14% threshold if you get all 3 hits. Fortunately, F Smash is not going to do it at all. If you can get hit 1 and 3 to connect against K. Rool, then you can definitely break him out of, you can definitely get him to break out of crown, which honestly might be something to do. And then down smash won't do it. Because I don't think it will. Yeah, it won't. Yeah, you always gotta aim for the side. That's what you want to do against him. Let's see. Yeah, see, like, this is the thing. So, because, like, Zane's just kind of sitting back and letting just K. Rool just completely dictate everything with crown, he's not able to really get his advantage set up. What you kind of need to do first is you need to get your can out, and then you need to do it in a way where it's going to start pressuring him. And then you bait out crown to, like, do your approach. So you get the can hit, and then an aerial is always going to break him out of it. Grab him, do your 1 pummel, and then throw him when the crown's returning. Or what you could do is you could actually like up throw K. Rool so that way he doesn't get the crown back. But yeah, see, that's kind of the issue with just spamming your projectiles. Is that crown's just going to go right through you. Yeah, you just wait this out. That was really bad. You never do that against K. Rool. You're just gone. Because like down throw, he can basically kill you at 100% if your mash isn't good. Because of dash attack. Dash attack buff was huge. And that was just a bad setup right there coming from Zane. Yeah, so that's the other thing too that you just saw right there is that the cannonball is like an active hitbox. It's an active hurtbox as well. So that's why like when he tried to do the clay pigeon right there, it just gets completely destroyed by that. So you got to be very, very careful about that. And that's why I don't necessarily, because K. Rool's so heavy, I don't agree with going for the down air there. Just go for strong nair, and then like when he's at 120, you do back air, because back air should kill. And the other thing that you want to do is you want to do the drop down gunman, so then that way you can shoot the stall. Yeah, he was a little bit too early with that. Again, he's not really paying attention to the crown. That's the issue. Like, when he did that crown there, that was actually a pretty free punish for Zane. All he had to do was drop down, grab him, and back throw him. Yeah, you need to wait for the cannonball to despawn. Again, he wasn't ready to do the down angled F tilt. He had the kill there. Should have been the stock for 808, but we're getting really good DI coming from Zane right there. Honestly, I do realize I haven't really talked about. Yeah, so that's actually a big thing right there. So as a K Rool player, this is really good to abuse against duck cut, because when you shoot the cannonball's going to fall down, and that's going to cut. That actually does cut off the recovery path. So you need to flip your hurt box out of the way and then get there. So that's a pretty free fair right there. Had time to air dodge and everything, but overall that was kind of the big issue. But yeah, basically the main thing there was Zane didn't really figure out how to play around Crown. So what you need to do is you throw out your projectiles, and when Crown comes out, that's like when you kind of get your approach and you get your grab in. Because when 808's doing the auto response Crown, like where he's like actively intercepting the projectiles that Zane is going for, that's how you're supposed to use it. But there's a couple of times that 808 was just using his Crown way too early, but unfortunately Zane wasn't ready to punish it. Yeah, like there was just kind of like bad spacing, but he still got the punish there. Also the fact, when he was landing against K Rool, Zane was always just kind of going in the front of him, and when you really want to go behind K Rool too. Just do your normal mix-ups at ledge. So like you either are gonna do like roll, get up attack if he's near and he's trying to do an attack. Like if he's just like trying to spam nair, or he's doing this and he's in range to get up attack, you do get up attack. The best mix-up you can do is always going to be jump, just because you have the quickest access to all of your options and you keep your double jump too. But drop down ledge jump into an aerial is basically guaranteed to get you grabbed by King K Rool, and you're just going to die. So you need to be very careful about how you use that. See, like there, right there, you need to be ready to approach. So like this, like the second that you see this animation comes out, that's run down, grab, pummel, back throw, can. So that way you don't worry about like the crown hitting you, and you get like a full setup off of that. Where it's like here. So that's a free can, but I mean, that was a free clay pigeon. The second that you see King K Rool like go for the vacuum suck against Cannonball, just throw a clay pigeon at him, and you're either going to lock him in shield or you're going to get a big punish on him. Again, not paying attention to crown. Because like the thing is, it's like he was starting up that crown so early. So as long as Zane was just kind of paying attention, you could have just jumped over it. Again, wasn't exactly ready for the punish there, but still was able to get in. Oh, no. Yeah, you always want to push K Rool off stage. You never want to push him back on stage. So that was an air. Also, the thing is, like, you want to keep Bear as fresh as possible. So then that way you actually have a move that's going to kill him early. Yeah, so far we've got pretty good stage control. The other thing, too, is that you can do the Marth Slayer against King K Rool. Like, when you shield can right next to the ledge. So he needs to take advantage of that. Okay. Oof, yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, you got, if it's not true, don't go for it, because Nair's going to beat it out. And Duck Hunt gets that a lot, like, once K Rool gets out of mid percents. So I'd say from, like, 0 to 50. After 50%, don't bother to go for, like, the up air afterwards. Just get ready to punish his landings. Again, see, not ready to punish the crown, so he was able to get away for that for free. And this is not where you want to be. Yeah, you got to air dodge there. Otherwise, King K Rool's getting around that for free. And see, like, that's kind of the issue with going for Clay Pigeon like that, is like K. Rool can literally press side B and just like invalidate Clay Pigeon from working. You're gonna tack on damage, but you're gonna gain no advantage from it. And if you're in range of the crown, then that's gonna automatically punish you too. So you don't want to really go for that. So the thing is, like, K. Rool has to read your option. So it's not that one of them, none of them are going to be the right choice every single time. You just need to choose the right option for the right thing. Oh, yeah. You have to remember, when you do Clay Pigeon, you're stuck in that animation for, I think it's like 59 frames? 64 frames. You're stuck in the animation for 64 frames. That, like, even online, you can react to that. So as long as you press the side B, it's going to hit you. Because King K. Rool's crown comes out frame 21, I believe. Yeah, crown. Okay, so crown comes out frame 27. And it's going to get to you by frame. It should get to you before like frame 64. So good chance that it'll probably punish you. And the thing is like Clay Pigeon's not going to knock him out of crown. And also again, this kind of highlights why you want to set up the Marth Slayer. Because like after he shielded that, Zane could have just dashed up there, and they just could have shielded right on top of the can there, and that would have blown up K. Rool. Yeah, unfortunately, they were a little bit too late on that Clay Pigeon confirm, but that should have been the death. See, so like right there, when Zane landed behind 808, there's nothing K. Rool can do in this position. Like the most they can do is like dare out of shield, but like dare out of shield is not fast. Dare out of shield is like that's a frame 17 option. If they nair out of shield, it's not going to hit you being on the ground, which that's a frame 10 that's a frame 10 option. So always make sure you're landing behind King K. Rool, because otherwise they basically have to roll. Oh, that's too bad. If Zane was ready, could have up-aired the failed up-air attempt. Got so lucky with that can coverage right there. If 808 didn't air dodge there, then that would have been bad. Oh, that's a free stock. Yeah. Yeah, Zane hesitated way too long because like K. Rool's stuck in the vacuum animation for a little bit before he can shield once he commits to it. Yeah, you got to make sure you don't jump right there. Oh, really good bash there. And then back air, yeah. Oh, man. Probably should have gone for one more Clay Pigeon. Zay got so unlucky that didn't blow up on the gunman right there. I don't think it would have killed K. Rool in that instance, but still. Yeah, that's going to be a stock right there. So unfortunately, Clay Pigeon confirms are now out. So you need to focus on just like getting the can kills at this point. The other thing too is like Zane's ledge trapping against K. Rool has been really, really bad. Like K. Rool's ledge options are not good. You just got to punish it like whenever he goes for something. Just like hold your ground, stay patient, and then when he lands with something, you just punish it. That should be it. Yeah, because that can was fresh. But yeah, right now it's like neutral's pretty weak because Zane hasn't figured out how to punish the crown yet, and then also the ledge trap game is super weak right now. That's the biggest thing that Zane's got to really adjust with. Like, the best way to think about Crown is think about it like a reflector. It's most likely going to come out just because it's so good at controlling so many different things. So you just need to be ready to just, like, throw it out there when it's... you just need to be ready to, like, bait him out with your projectiles and then just get around him and punish him for it. Honestly, at that point, Zane could have held down and then just air dodged above. He would have lived. Okay. Oof. Yeah, no, it would have been much better to get a can out, because now it's going to be so much harder to set up. That's kind of like the other thing that I'm seeing right now is like, Zane doesn't look like they're just ready to punish these landings. Let's see how good your item game is. Again, yeah, don't jump. Just throw Clay Pigeon. The second that the vacuum comes out, throw Clay Pigeon. Don't even think about anything else. You'll get the punish. So yeah, if you get like the hit from like a gunman before a crown is thrown, just go for an aerial because you're gonna guarantee get that punish on him. Like in this case, I think Zane had enough time to just do like an F smash or something. If not, fair to like up smash or something. Or just go for like a raw up smash there. That's a stock. You always got to be shielding that crowd. Yeah, again, respect to the crown way too much. Like in this case, like Zane was just running into it. Like crown right next to him, that's the freest punish of your life. That was a good mix up from 808. I thought he was going to go for the grab. That was a good recovery from Zane. Yeah, so if you see King K. Rool falling down with the crown like that, just be ready to like F smash his landing. Because it's like that will break the armor with all 3 hits. Again, you just need to go for the Clay Pigeon. There we go. That was a good punish. You can also like hit the vacuum from the side if you're coming from below. So just kind of illustrate the point. So when they're going for the vacuum, you can just like go up with like a back air and you can hit his foot. Because generally what happens is like the wind box will suck you in and then your hitbox is gonna hit him before you get grabbed. Again, just respect to the crown way too much because like crown is so net minus on shield. Like at worst, crown orang is negative 26. So like if you're hitting crown like at all like in this middle part, it's probably close to minus 20. So you can drop shield and just like punish with anything. But preferably go for the grab. Again, it's like 808's not mixing it up. 808 is literally just going for crowd every single time. So you just need to get ready to punish that. It's not unpunishable by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, you got to be ready for that too. Armor's really good on that move. See, now we're baiting out crown. That's what we needed. That's another one. Okay, good. He mixed it up with bear there. But I would have liked to see the Nair just because wasn't exactly in a percent range where that was going to kill just yet. Yeah, that's really hard to get back from his rule. That should be a stock, yeah. again, yeah, it's a little bit too late there. That's too bad. That could have actually been quite a sequence if Zane was able to get it. But yeah, so as K Rool, they can automatically just do jump crown, and that'll beat out Can, that'll beat out Gunman, and that'll beat out like a raw clay pigeon. So throw out Can, and then if they do jump crown, then you're just gonna jump and then grab punish. So that's what you want to do for. Oh yeah, no. If you're good at playing with items, stealing crown is a very, very good thing to do. Just because that gets rid of his one option that basically can just go through the entire neutral game you want to set up. Because without that, K Rool is much worse at fighting against Duck Hunt. So if you can control that, basically allows you to get away more with like your Can is much easier to control him. Gunman is a much bigger problem for him. Clay Pigeon is also a much bigger threat for him too because he can't just like crown through it. But of course, your clay pigeon should be missing more because if he doesn't have crown on, you're going to be calling out his aerials with clay pigeon with his clay pigeon. You don't want to be using clay pigeon neutral in that case. Because like if he jumps over and like you're at 60%, one downer from K Rool means you're dead. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say that should confirm it to the cannonball. Oh yeah, no, he's not playing around the crown at all. Again, he's not going. He's just like literally, legitimately, if he just did dash grab, most of the set would not have been a problem. That was kind of his biggest issue. It's just Zane was not adapting to what 808 was doing, and literally 808's one game plan with crown triumphed over everything that Zane did. So that's what I mean. If you don't understand how the matchup works and you don't like make the adjustments for it, this is a matchup that can become in K Rool's favor pretty easily, which you can kind of see right here. But as long as you learn how to punish that one thing, it definitely makes the matchup so much harder for Rool because they got to be way more careful about how they land. They have to be very careful about how they use their ledge setups. They got to be very careful about how they use blunderbuss. So it puts a lot more pressure on the Rool in that case, just because there's so much that they can't do in neutral. However, of course, as you saw, his tools, when he does have availability to all of them, if you're not careful as Duck Hunt, he can still just kind of plow right through you and kill you. So you do need to be careful as Duck Hunt. But like when you're in neutral, like even spacing and everything, Duck Hunt should be in the one that's in control of the entire situation. And then it should come down to more of K Rool needing to make guesses. And there's certain reactions that he can do that'll automatically win certain scenarios. But still, it's just like regardless, a lot more of these things are going to be skewed in Duck Hunt's favor just because you should have control of that neutral. And if you do understand how to get those openings against K Rool, he should die a lot earlier, as he actually is one of the characters that does get hit by Clay Pigeon F Smash, which Zane wasn't going for that at all, but that's something you can do to kill him at like 80% easily. So that's something you got to look out for. So Zane, definitely make sure that you just punish Crown. That's literally the one big failing that you had. And because like you not punishing Crown and running away from it kind of influenced exactly how you play neutral, as you kind of let him just have free ground by that. And if you just changed around that one thing, I think this set would have looked very, very, very different. Because that was pretty much all your problems stem from that, like bad projectile pools, bad placements, bad ideas at ledge. It all comes from you just not knowing how to play around Crown. So remember, treat Crown kind of like Clay Pigeon, where when you see it come out, you'll just jump over and punish it. Wisdom, you came in so late. You saw, you missed Zane literally losing to the Crown. It just everywhere. Like, whenever Crown came out, Zane just ran away and didn't grab. It was really sad to see. You know, like you lose stage control, which is like the one big thing you have against K Rool in this. And also, it's just like in terms of like the ledge trapping, you should have gotten way more stocks off of that than what you actually got. And then also, just in terms of edge guarding, always use Nair, and you always save up Bear to kill too. That's kind of important. So yeah, once you understand, jump over the Crown or shield Crown and then grab him, you'll have a much easier time dealing with just a K rule that is going to be mindlessly doing that. But I wouldn't say 808 was doing it mindlessly. It's just the fact that you weren't punishing it. Just he knew he could just do it, and he would win that exchange. Exactly, yeah. Like, K rule's an even matchup or slightly in his favor until you learn to play it. It's always going to be one of those things. But, 808, good stuff to you if you end up watching this. You didn't need to adapt, so can't really comment too much on that. But I definitely went over a lot of the nuances there. Zay, just for the love of God, learn to jump and grab crowd. And that's it. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I think that's gonna do it for this one.